Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit that subscribe button down below and let's get right to it. Now, did you hear Donald Trump's comments the other day about undocumented workers? Well, it appears the mainstream media has been lying to you and kind of took it completely out of context. Now, it's happened a few times with Donald Trump, and I don't understand why the media would even try to lie about Donald Trump. He makes it easy enough. You don't have to create things. You don't have to make things up about Donald Trump and his some of his comments he's made. We know what he said about people. You don't have to make up lies. And when it came to his comments about undocumented workers, where he said apparently that undocumented workers were quote animals, he was not referring to undocumented workers or just in the undocumented worker or anybody that's illegal in the country here illegally. No, that's not what he was talking about. He is precisely talking about MS-13. Now, I see what the media did. I see what they did, and I don't approve of it in one bit. There's no denying that I don't like Donald Trump. You can tell that by all my other videos. I don't like the man. I think he's a terrible president. I think he's a terrible human being. But you don't have to lie about it. And that's really my big thing. You don't have to lie about the man. What he was talking about, he was asked by a person in the room at the round table. She asked him, if there's something that could be done, because there was a threshold that these people could, get up to before they could contact ICE. Is there a way they could fix that to where they could contact ICE to get these MS-13 members, deported out of the country? And he's like, we're working on that. We've deported a lot. We've taken a lot of these people out. And he referred to them as being, he's like, we're taking a lot of these people out, and you don't believe how bad they are. These aren't people, these are animals. And I'm sorry, if he was referring to MS-13, and they are animals. They just dismember people. They rip people apart just for being just innocent people. They gun people down. They kill people every single day in this country. MS-13 are animals. They are not people. He is right. People don't tear apart other people's bodies. They don't go around decapitating people and all sorts of other gruesome things that MS-13 is known to do. They're one of the most violent groups of people in this country. We have a lot of gangs in this country, but MS-13 is like the worst gang in this country. And we need to get as many of them out of this country as humanly possible. And I'm sorry if that offends you. Good, whatever. Obviously, this channel is not meant for you. But I have to agree with Donald Trump that MS-13 is not a bunch of people. These aren't just a bunch of illegal people or undocumented people. These are animals. These are people that just as soon see you dead as see you breathing. These are not your ordinary everyday person. These people are people that kill innocent, have killed children in their caught in their gunfights and other things. They kill adults, and I'm pretty sure they probably traffic drugs and shit like that too. So, because they got to be funding their enterprises somehow. I've mostly heard about the murdering and the killing of innocent people, which is just completely wrong. And so, to see that the media chose to lie about this, it shows that they're lacking some moral direction. Because every time you get caught in a lie about somebody as bad as Donald Trump, you are making it harder for the truth to be told. Because when you do tell the truth, now people are going to believe you less than they did before. And they're going to believe him more, even though you know he's lying. Unfortunately, it leaves it to people like myself and others that are doing independent news media to point this out. I haven't heard anything from the Young Turks on this one yet. I would hope to God they would tell the truth here. I hope they haven't been going on they're not buying the rhetoric that's being given by the mainstream media. But as much as I have a liberal bias here on the Big Rant Show, and I admit that wholeheartedly, this is a liberal-based show, I still can't let lies be told. And so it sickens me to no end that the mainstream media continues to lie about Donald Trump. The man tells enough lies and does enough damage to himself and his own administration for you to need to sit there telling lies about the man and just trying to drudge up division. Now I just watched a video on YouTube, on Facebook, from a very conservative person, and you know, I don't usually watch those videos, but the person was dead right. He was dead on. The mainstream media has lied, especially here. There have been other times that they've try to make Donald Trump out to be even worse than he is, and it's not necessary. It's completely, some of the fabrications that they've come up with are insane, which make it harder for people to believe what he's actually done. People are all pissed off because what it is, I think, especially with this one, people were mad because they heard that Mueller was not likely to indict President Trump because he didn't feel he could indict a president. And so I think some liberal folks are angry about that. So they're trying to drum up anything they can to keep Donald Trump looking bad. Well, here's the thing. If Mueller doesn't see a reason to indict him or that he doesn't think he can, then that's that. That's life. The Mueller investigation shouldn't have been about Donald Trump himself anyway. It never was supposed to have been in the first place. It has been and should have been about people in his campaign being involved with the Russians, if they were, and some of them have admittedly been. But also, it's been a lot about, it's supposed to be about how the Russians got involved in our politics, in our elections in 2016 and 2014 and 2012. That's what the Mueller investigation should be about. So if he's not investigating Donald Trump personally, then I don't care. I don't give a damn. The man knows what he's doing. Art Mueller is one of the most respected people in Washington, D.C. One of the most respected people, both left and right. And if he doesn't feel that there's either evidence to indict Donald Trump or that he can't, then he doesn't need to be wasting his time on it. So that's what I think they're doing. I think some people in the mainstream media are so concerned that they're not going to get this indictment that they've been begging for of Donald Trump that they're trying to create new stuff. Trying to play off his previous bigoted kind of statements. But that's what I'm seeing. Anyhow, this has been the Big Rant Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck. One last comment. I just started posting stories. I posted chapter 1 to a story that I'm working on called How We Fell. The name of the first chapter is Night of Fire. Over on the Storyfire app. If you haven't, I'll try to give you a link in the description below down to see my story. I think it's a really good start. I plan to have about 13 chapters, or as it could be 13 episodes to the story. And over on Storyfire, it's a really cool app. I'm going to bring you a review of it and maybe a screen video, a cell phone video of it. of the actual of what it actually looks like, how it actually works, and everything. I'm thinking about doing that tomorrow. I've been having a hard time getting a screen recording program to work, but I finally found one that works. It's just a little too late for me to get it up today, so I'll have to be doing this tomorrow and put it up for you tomorrow. But basically, Storyfire, my story on Storyfire is based off a dream I had off the comments and the media coverage of what Donald Trump said the day that he announced his candidacy. And it's not an implication of Donald Trump. It's just what my mind automatically apparently was trying to deal with when I went to sleep that night. And finally, about a year later, I actually started to write down some of those thoughts because those thoughts stuck with me, even though whether or not what my mind was seeing was real or imagined or whatever, that story stuck in my head, and I haven't been able to shake it. So I finally put my first chapter out on the Storyfire app. But the Storyfire app is really cool. You can watch, you can go through and read short little stories. You know, sometimes as short as a minute. You know, a minute read. Sometimes as many as 8 or 10 minutes read for a story. You know, and it tells you how long they are before you start. That way you don't get too far into it. You something to have to stop in the middle of it. You know exactly how much time you have, and you can watch it, or you can sit there and read it. And it comes line by line, as they call them, strikes. It's a really good app. If you're interested in writing, I suggest it. And no, this is not a sponsored video. They haven't paid me shit to say nothing about it. But McJuggernuggets, hey, if you're out there and you happen to come across this video or my review that I'm going to do tomorrow, or this video even, hey, I'll take I would love a sponsorship deal. I know I only have 146 subscribers, but I would love to help get you some more people over there on your app, because I think it's a really great app. If you haven't checked it out, check out Storyfire. Check out McJuggernuggets' new series on the app called My Virtual Escape. It's a great series. Of course, you know McJuggernuggets probably as the guy who brought you the Psycho series with the Psycho Kid and Psycho Brother, you know, where they tumped over the Thanksgiving dinner table and the father ran over his video games. You know, that was one hell of a series. But if you ask me, My Virtual Escape is 10 times better than anything that McJuggernuggets has done before My Virtual Escape. It's an awesome series. Check it out on Storyfire. Check me out on Storyfire as well under the name JM Keck. And I'll leave you a link in the description below to my story. It has an app and a website. You can read it on the website if you want to. And all the app has more functionality than the website, so that's the reason I'll be doing the app tomorrow. Anyhow, y'all have a great day, and I'll see you down the road.